Hey everybody, this is So Many Sequels. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
It is the beginning of A24 on the show. Very excited about a whole month of A24 movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We field tested this name and people liked it.
People like it.
The hashtag is trending.
It may sound dumb,
but it's not.
A24 Pro has legs.
They should really make a shirt.
If you don't think that they are, well, I guess it is April and I haven't really seen them do anything with it, but they're missing out. I tell you what, this is a winning marketing campaign. If they were the spearheads behind it and not us,
everyone would say it was genius.
24 YouTube subscribed people, people be like, oh my goodness, A24 Pro, how creative.
I know.
Now the only question is, will we release an episode on April 24th? We'll see. That
Time
depends
will
on
tell.
who's editing and how busy they are.
That would be fun though. Oh my gosh, I haven't even looked at the calendar for
We're behind
that.
schedule. We got to catch up. We got to have a 2-week month anyway.
Ooh, that's true.
Yes.
Maybe we need to just try to make that happen. I don't know. We'll see. I watched an A24 movie over the weekend, a newish one, new to streaming, I believe, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit in the spirit of the month. Have you guys heard of the Nick Cage movie Dream Scenario?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit about this. I haven't watched it though.
How about you, Garrett?
No, I have not.
All right, so buckle up, boys. This is actually let me read you the letterboxd, because this is one of those bizarre kind of black comedy A24 movies.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Well, it could be horror. It's not that.
Yes.
Hapless family man Paul Matthews finds his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams. But when his nighttime appearances take a nightmarish turn, Paul is forced to navigate his newfound stardom. And the movie's literally that. Nick Cage just plays just this guy, and he starts appearing in people's dreams. He doesn't know he's doing it. He's not controlling it. But people start to recognize him, and they're like, do I know you? And slowly but surely, people are like, you're in my dream. And it's everyone. He becomes like a celebrity. I don't want to go too deep, but setting you up. It's weird. It explores a lot of weird ideas around how one might capitalize on invading people's dreams. What that might do. What kind of newfound overnight fame, perhaps an allegory for viral fame, I don't know, does to a person.
Oh, interesting.
Plenty of stupidity involved. Much like another A24 movie we're probably going to talk about this month, there's significant farting. Maybe not as much, but like needle drop farting.
Okay.
Needle drop farting?
Like, that was for a reason.
We had to. Ever since Amadeus,
A
we've not been able to
purposeful
escape it.
fart.
A couple, perhaps.
Wow.
And I just
right.
feel like I need you to know. I need most people to know when fart humor is like really heavily involved in a movie, and I just feel like it is.
The fart, did it bring a tear to your eye,
no.
but not because it was a stench,
Well-
but because it was an emotional part of the movie?
Well, certainly not emotional of sadness. Maybe a humorous tear from laughter.
Now, at the end of the day, though, what did you think? Was this a recommend, or was this underwhelming? What did you think?
So it was it because of the fart thing. I'm like, it's hard for me to know to recommend it. Are you into that? Because some people are like, hard no. I would not find that funny. I cringe at it, and then maybe not. It's not all that though. Like there's still a lot to it, but there are some really like cringe scenes that are hard to get through. Just having to do with him being just a regular old dude.
I'm really intrigued by this. I don't know anything about it, but I would
you
recommend
said it's
it
where,
to you,
Josh? Yeah, it's on Max in their big A24 section they have now. Max is the one for A24, they say. Not a sponsor of this show.
No, but they could be. They could be. And I don't know. I think that's an interesting.
I would recommend it
premise
to
on a
you,
dream
Garrett, and to David. I
scenario.
think you would find it too weird and out there.
I probably would.
Okay.
I'll
Because
tell you-
I'm a big fan of Freddy Krueger, and that dream elements aspect has always been something that's really interesting. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There's another one that escapes my mind, but I think that's a very interesting take on some dream stuff. And
It is,
I'm
and
very
it's a
intrigued by
good
it.
Nick Cage performance. It's not one of his like over the top ones where he's Nick Cage being Nick Cage. It's much more subdued and just kind of nice to see him not be a caricature all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds like some Inception level dream sharing kind of stuff where everything's a little bit odd. I don't know. I'm mildly interested. I never saw The Unbearable Weight of Immense Talent or whatever that was with him and Pedro Pascal. I've been kind of underwhelmed by a lot of Nicolas Cage's stuff since Pig. Like, I thought Pig was really good. But a couple of his movies that have come out since then, like The Old Way, I've just not been digging them. So I'm interested enough because I do like Nick Cage a lot. I'd be interested to watch it just to see if it can break that funk for me in terms of his offerings.
Check it out. It's on Max. Turn it off if you don't like it. It's easy to walk out of your home.
I can't do that.
Oh well, then it wasn't terribly
not
long.
that person.
It was under 2 hours, so you can make
We've
it.
talked about it before. I pride myself in the movie will not beat me. All right, I may not like it, but it will not beat me. I will not succumb. I will endure. But anyway,
You endured
that's great.
Tombstone after our conversation last week
did.
about it,
Yeah,
and
tell
I'm
us
very
about it.
excited to hear your review.
you want to talk about a complete opposite of maybe an A24 film. We have Tombstone, where it's just cool guys doing cool stuff, and
We established
You
in the
guys were-
Sting that is your favorite genre.
it's it's probably my favorite.
Cool
my
guys
favorite
doing
subgenre.
crimes, but cool guys doing cool stuff
crimes.
is what covers that, really.
Yes. That's the blanket, the subgenre of cool guys doing cool crimes and cool guys doing cool stuff. You guys are
That's a
talking about very
letterbox list
highly.
right there. That's a letterbox list for you, David.
I've already started it. It's
Yeah,
it's
make
called
a
The
note.
I've already started the list. It's called The Plan is Simple, and then it's all cool guys and cool girls doing cool crimes. So follow me, David Proc SMS on Letterboxd. You can find me there. And I just want to say, you guys were talking it up, and I had never seen it, and watched it. I was having a lot of fun. Obviously, Val Kilmer, that dude was sweating in that movie. I felt sticky midway through it with how hot Val Kilmer looked in that film. Probably the sweatiest scene since when we watched Top Gun 1. That was a really sweaty movie in terms of just guys just looking hot on aircraft carriers. But Tombstone, I mean, it was like a blockbuster version of a Western in a lot of ways. You had a good ensemble cast. You had sort of these big moments, fun characters. So it was. I don't know how it did in 1993. I know that a lot of people I've talked to ever since they love it. So interestingly, I did talk to someone on Threads who thought that Val Kilmer's performance is super overrated, and that it was
Fighting words.
just odd for the sake of being odd. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I have no nostalgia for the movie, so I won't sit here and dig my heels in. But I find that's interesting if you think so. I thought he did a great job at taking something that could have been just basic and made it memorable. I said this on Letterboxd. The movie could have just been Doc Holliday and Johnny Ringo talking shit the whole time, and I would have loved it. So high 4.5 for me. Almost a 5. More Doc Holliday.
Wow.
What, David, I got to ask, because I teased a scene with Billy Bob Thornton when he had just got punked, and then he was out looking for revenge, and then he was so close to getting it, and then he realized who he was up against, and then the whole world around him just expanded, and he became so small. And that scene for me was that's the scene that sucked me back in, because I had turned it on to be something in the background because I'd seen it so many times, and then I got to that scene and I was like, oh man, hooked right there.
Yeah,
it's
Go ahead. class version. I don't know. It's a great example of micro acting, because like in his face you can just see all of the anger and rage that he had. Like, I'm gonna get mine. Just fade out, like Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp and all the Earps. Like, it was just like everything draining out of him, and then just Doc being like, "You may go now." It was it was fun. So I had a lot of fun with that.
Good.
And so I highly, I'm very thankful for you guys for recommending I go back and check out Tombstone.
I feel compelled to complete the Tombstone challenge now.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it, but I have not rewatched it as part of this effort. Gotta make sure this month has a solid B plot theme of Tombstone behind A24 pull. Just sneak in there.
Exactly.
Garrett, did you watch anything? Anything new?
You know what? Kat and I watched 10 Things I Hate About You.
So not
10
new.
Things I Hate About You.
An old favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. It was another option of just like, it was a long day, just need a movie that we enjoy, and 10 Things I Hate About You, once again, just continues to deliver. Growing up, I think I've talked about how I didn't watch a lot of rom-coms, and this one still, once again, just was the one that I liked at the time. I mean, I had Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Third Rock from the Sun, had David Krumholtz from The Santa Claus, had Larissa Oleynik from The Secret World of Alex Mack, and it was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot right here. And, again, 24 years later or something, it's still one of my favorites. So, really great rewatch.
Oh, and let's not leave out Larry Miller as their dad, who's hilarious.
Oh,
like
he steals this every scene he's in.
you mean boys or whatever. Like, it's always, like, I don't know, just him. Larry Miller's probably one of the most underrated comedians, I think, of the last 20, 25 years. If you see him in a movie, he's going to steal every scene.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, come on.
Larry Miller?
Larry Miller.
Could be anybody.
It's true. He has a very standard name. I'll try to think of some things to show you.
Yeah, I'll have to look him up. Because I do remember the dad in the movie, but I just don't remember him like being someone that I recognize a lot. So, we'll just skip ahead to some news items then for the week. A couple big sequel updates. Maybe mixed reactions depending on how you feel on these. So we'll go with the more positive one first, because people are going to be more excited about Dune 3 being confirmed, I think, with all the excitement behind Dune Part 2. Warner Brothers went ahead and confirmed recently that they are going to develop Dune Part 3 next, which hasn't been confirmed to be based on Dune Messiah, but one would expect that would be the case, as that's the third book. Although, I haven't read it. People say that is a very different story, quite a departure from what I understand in some ways. So I'll be very intrigued to hear about that. I think David is still on a just like a Dune protest of sorts because it's popular.
No, no Dune protest really.
But Garrett, what is your reaction as someone who has seen both movies now?
I am looking forward to the third one. I think that it's going to be really good. I think it's going to deliver. People were really excited about Dune 2, and I think that it set a good tone for this movie season. I think it got people excited, and so I think that it will be good. I know less than nothing about the overall franchise. I mean, I've seen these two movies, and that's it. So, but the second one was super fantastic, and the first one, again, underrated, sucked. I wasn't expecting much, and it sucked me in immediately. So I have no reason to doubt that this one will do the same. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It will be Denis' next movie, and then he's confirmed to work on another movie based on some kind of nuclear situation with Warner Brothers after that.
Maybe this will be another John Wick situation for me, where John Wick 1, John Wick 2, totally missed them. But just in time for John Wick 3, managed to get into the spirit of things.
Second story of the week, and this is the one that's a little iffy for me, is Warner Brothers also confirmed The Matrix will return for a fifth film, but under a different writer-director, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see Resurrections? Did we cover it?
Not.
I think I just watched
We
that
did not.
one on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was another Warner Brothers day and date release on Max, I believe, during the pandemic or amidst the pandemic.
Yeah. Look, I love The Matrix. I don't want this. I don't. I want something new. Please stop.
I'm going to say something
Leave it
potentially
alone.
controversial. I think they should have stopped at 1.
We're not really.
Based on what we've
hey,
been
we're
given.
already 60 minutes into this introduction. You cannot be dropping crap like that.
Am I wrong? I mean, based on what they've given us, I think they should have just stopped at 1. The first Matrix is like an all-time classic, and it's a highly influential movie. Like, but what the second 2 weren't. We've reviewed them for the podcast, and then Josh, you just, Garrett, I don't think you've seen Resurrections, but Josh just said the 4th one wasn't even worth watching, really, more or less, right, Josh?
Yeah, the 4th one wasn't really.
So I mean, and the thing
okay.
is, it's so tied to the Wachowskis. Now they're going to be executive producers on this new one, but like, I have a hard time believing that Drew Goddard is going to find a way to make it work again, without it just coming across the same way that like Jurassic World did, or the same way that the new Ghostbusters Afterlife did, where people are just like, it's the things we recognize, but the spirit's not there. I assume that's just my assumption of what's about to happen.
I don't know. I don't want it. Also just the Matrix and the whole life is a simulation storyline is so dated to me now. It's like that's not futuristic anymore. It just feels old. We're into like crazy earth-ending AI now. Get over the simulation crap. I wish I could say the next story is an uplifting one, but I think it's a bummer too. Toy Story 5 confirmed for release 2026. Another dead horse to be left alone, please.
Don't understand this one either.
Please.
Again, there's people who said
I defended
Toy Story
4 and I
3
can't
was
go any
unnecessary.
further.
Yeah, I feel like people said 3 was unnecessary, but I love 3, and I said 4, and I was the one who was like, I didn't need 4, and I know people like 4, but I just, and I genuinely don't have any idea. I mean, would he get divorced? Did he and Bo Peep get divorced, and he's got to go back and move in with Tim Allen and Buzz? Is that what's happening?
Bud.
Like, I mean, at this point in time, what's Buzz doing without Woody? He's just sitting there drinking beer. He's got a Bud belly at this point in time,
I know.
so he's not buzzing around. So, like, no, I just don't know.
Because while I like Toy Story 4 a lot.
Sorry,
What's
go
up?
ahead.
No, I was gonna say,
feel
why?
like I had an idea that they could do it where it's like Woody and Buzz are old now, and it's time for them to retire. And you got a deal. Yeah, that's
what Woody did.
The danger. Yeah.
That's essentially what Woody did. I mean,
No, he went and got married and lived a life. Now I'm saying retired.
I like Toy Story 4, sort of in a vacuum. I thought it was good, but it was also something where I really understand that people aren't interested necessarily in redoing that again and again. It's nice to just close the chapter on something and say we're done. I viewed Toy Story 4 as a metaphor for retiring because Woody was done. He wasn't able to capture what Bonnie needed, and he had to look up and say, you know what, my time as a toy might be done. And that's what a lot of people at a certain stage in their life, probably the people who make Pixar who are getting older, that's how they feel. It's like, maybe my time is done. It's time for me to retire and hand the reins off to the next group of toys. But you're right. I mean, it's Pixar. So I have a feeling they are capable of cracking a story that makes it at least interesting, at least heartfelt, at least thoughtful. I feel like they could spend that time on something new instead.
At this point, I don't believe toys from 1995 didn't disintegrate by now. What are you talking about? I don't believe these toys are still viable toys.
And I think that's what I meant by retire.
I also don't believe any child would play with them.
Being toys.
With a Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in today's world. Maybe like, well, in a world where Toy Story is not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the equivalent of an old like space hero would be. It'd be like G.I. Joe. I don't know.
You know, the interesting
Woody's
thing
technically
is,
from the 50s also.
here's something I'll promote is that I'm content. I've said this before too. Like Toy Story 4 is what it is, but I'm content with Toy Story living on in the world of shorts. If you watch some of the Disney shorts they've been making for Toy Story, there's some really cool stuff in there, and there's some neat ideas. And there's a Christmas episode where Bonnie takes her toys over to her cousin's house, and her cousin's way more into video games and hasn't opened any of his toys from Christmas. And that's a interesting sort of different take on Toy Story. Is like, what do toys do when kids aren't interested in them anymore? And, you know, they're more interested in video games. And that's something that we skipped with Andy from Toy Story 2 to 3. You know, we skipped that 10-year period where Andy lost interest in playing with toys. So I think that's a fun place to explore those ideas, and you can maybe have younger, newer animators and storytellers work on that if you want to keep the Toy Story IP alive. But I don't know if we need a full-length movie.
Nope, we don't. I don't think we do. All right, well.
Give me Luca 2.
Yes, if you're gonna do a sequel that you. Why are we doing a franchise 4 movies in? You've done other things that could be a sequel, but I also I still am preferring the new IP. Attempts, please. All right, that does it for this video this week. Be sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the movies and shows and whatnot we talked about today. Be sure to stick around. Later in the week, we're going to drop a review of our first A24 pull movie of the month. And we got plenty more lined up after that. So be sure to check that out. And again, SoManySequels.com has links to all of our social media accounts and our past podcast episodes where you can subscribe there if you'd rather like listen in the car or while you walk or whatever it is people do while they listen to podcasts. I usually drive or walk. So that's why I said that. But we'll see you guys next time.